Right now on 10 News at 11.
Fire ravishing a mobile home park just to our north. Wind-driven flames torching homes faster than fire crews can react. Cadaver dogs now sifting through the ashes.
Panic for a lot of us. I can taste the ash in my throat discussing it.
The dangerous fire conditions are just getting started here in San Diego. The East County residents, they know all too well how quickly danger can strike. The escape plans being made for the worst case scenario.
I think they're pretty stupid because they didn't even realize what the heck they were doing.
2 Alpine daycare workers fired after this video of water thrown on a sleeping toddler was posted to social media. How parents are now weighing in on the sheriff's investigation.
10 News begins with breaking news.
Some power lines are going up in flames and exploding.
Arcing wires exploding, the raging flames of a wildfire burning in Sylmar right now. Homes and businesses burning near the 210 freeway north of San Fernando.
High winds are fueling those out-of-control flames, which have now burned at least 250 acres. And in the last 5 minutes, we learned the fire has now jumped the 5 freeway. Now, this is a live look over that scene right now. We're going to keep an eye on this fire throughout the newscast, now called the Saddle Ridge Fire.
And we begin our Red Flag team coverage with our meteorologist, Angelica Campos, tracking the wind speeds in Sylmar right now, as well as what we have here in San Diego County. Angelica.
Hi guys. Yes, most of Southern California included in the red flag warning, and of course to the north, especially windy right now. As we look at the conditions, 69-degree temperature, pretty warm at this hour. Humidity is very low, which means that anything on the path of this fire would burn very easy. And the winds gusting over 21 miles per hour. Most likely they'll range like that through the course of the night, with the winds potentially becoming increasingly windy. Let's take a look at some of the videos so you guys can get an idea what the winds are capable of doing on a night like tonight. You can clearly see everything moving towards the west. The winds coming out of the east northeast, they could gust potentially between 50 to over 60 miles per hour. And of course, with the flames just fanning towards the west, this is increasingly dangerous close to a highway. Locally here in San Diego, our winds are also increasing right now. The windiest places Alpine and also in Campo, and we're expecting the wind gusts to be as high as 50 miles per hour. We'll continue to monitor the winds and the conditions throughout the show.
All right, thanks, Angelica. Our team coverage continues with 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo in the East County community of Crest, which took a devastating blow during the 2003 Cedar fire. Residents hope the county will take a major step in making any future evacuations much easier.
This road here would be the only way out if the other 2 ways out of the city were blocked in the event of a catastrophic fire. Residents are hoping that next week this will be an official evacuation route. Having access to this road could be the difference between getting out safe in the event of a fire in Crest.
One that saved over 240 cars full of people in the '03 fire.
It was used in the Cedar fire, and Candy Franklin hopes next week county supervisors will make it a permanent route. The private road is typically locked, but it'd be unlocked by fire or sheriffs if there was a fire.
It's an automatic panic for a lot of us. We have 14 homes that were never rebuilt after the Cedar fire. We have a lot of people that have PTSD.
Franklin is a facilitator for the Crest Fire Safe Council.
My job is I manage about 1,900 phone calls that I make a recording of, and then I send it out to the community.
Ahead of Thursday's red flag warning, she sent out reminders, what to pack, evacuation routes, and where to stage in the event of an evacuation.
And I set out a series of emails, and I have about 750 of those emails that go out to the community.
Plans Franklin hopes she won't have to execute during this warning or ever.
Like right now, I can taste the ash in my throat discussing it. And I know for people who haven't been through a fire, they have no idea what we're talking about.
The Board of Supervisors will discuss making the route official next Tuesday. In Crest, Laura Acevedo, 10 News.
And in Riverside County, a 500-acre brush fire is burning in the town of Calamasa, which is off the 10 on the way to Palm Springs. At least 15 homes in a mobile home park, they have been destroyed. There is no word yet of any injuries, but authorities have brought in cadaver dogs, we're told. The fire was sparked when a trash truck dumped a burning pile of garbage, which ignited nearby vegetation. Right now, that fire is 0% contained. And hundreds of thousands of people in Northern California are sitting in black tonight. PG&E shut off the power to those residents there, forcing them to close business. The weather conditions up there, they are improving, we're told, and the utility company has turned power back on to about 31% of those residents. Here in San Diego, residents, we are still holding our breath, waiting for the high winds to pass through. That red flag warning to end tomorrow. The winds are the heaviest throughout the East County, where residents are well prepared.
Right now, nearly 18,000 SDG&E customers are faced with losing power. Nearly 395 residents in Oak Springs, Boulevard, and Jacumba are already without. SDG&E says those communities won't see their lights back on until Saturday. Earlier today, residents in Pine Valley were getting ready for power outages. George DeCina filled up his gas can for his backup generator at home. He says he doesn't take red flag warnings lightly.
This is usually the season when October, November, when we have the strong Santa Ana winds, and I think there's more to come. So this is just the beginning, I think.
SDG&E says it will continue to update customers who are affected by the outages.
And the San Diego Fire Department is calling in more staff over the next 2 days. The department is adding extra engines and helicopters. Battalion Chief Dan Eddy says the goal is to act quickly if a wildfire does break out.
We take this very seriously because we don't want another event to happen like we've had in the past, right? And we're going to do everything we can personnel-wise and equipment-wise to get on that right away.
And the department is also reminding residents to please have a plan. They recommend having a go bag just in case you're forced to evacuate. All right, we will continue to cover all of these dangerous fire conditions on our newscasts and our 10 News mobile app. There is a free version available in the App Store.
New details tonight on the outrageous video of a daycare worker throwing water on a sleeping toddler. That's it right there. It happened in Alpine, sparking a Sheriff's Department investigation. 10 News reporter Anthony Pura is in Alpine, where many parents are standing by the daycare tonight.
I spoke with several parents today as they came by to pick up their children from the daycare. All of them have seen that video. They say they'd be furious if that happened to their child, but at the same time they feel that it was an isolated incident and the staff here responded appropriately. This video taken inside the Alpine Children's Academy. A staff member seen pouring water on a sleeping 18-month-old girl's face. She then posted it on social media.
I think they're pretty stupid because they didn't even realize what the heck they were doing. You know, and nobody should do that to anybody else's kid.
The reaction from parents and grandparents picking up their kids and grandkids from the daycare Thursday. Staff says they've terminated the two 20-year-old employees involved in making the video. One worked at the daycare for about 2 months, the other about a year. One of them is a daughter of the director. Their motives are unclear.
He's been here since he was a baby.
Samantha Stark says she trusted daycare staff with all 3 of her kids.
If this happened to my son, because of my other 2 kids coming here, I don't think I would pull them out, in all honesty. I would definitely have a hard conversation with them.
The daycare says parents have been understanding. There are about 40 kids in the daycare, and they're expecting to keep 95% of their enrollment. In fact, the parents of the child seen in the video are not pulling her out. In a statement, the Alpine Children's Academy called the action horrific abuse and disgusting, adding they do not tolerate that type of behavior. State Social Services, CPS, and the Sheriff's Department are continuing to investigate this incident. In Alpine, Anthony Pura, 10 News.
While the Padres are focused on hiring a new manager, their attention has been diverted by the arrest of one of their young players.
This is bad. Steve Smith joins us with a pitching prospect who's in a little trouble right now.
Yeah, I think we'd rather be talking manager or those new uniforms that are coming out in November. Never good to start the offseason with the word arrest, but that is the case for the Padres and pitcher Jacob Nix. Nix is his fellow minor leaguer Tom Cosgrove were arrested in Peoria, Arizona on Sunday near the team's training complex and charged with criminal trespassing after the pitcher attempted to break into a resident's house. Now, according to reports, Nix tried to enter the home through a doggy door, was confronted by the owner who reportedly kicked him in the face and then tased him. The Padres did release a statement today saying they are aware of the incident and take the matter very seriously. Nix, who made 9 starts in 2018, missed most of this season with arm injuries. Now Nix told police he was confused, thought the house was his own, although he said his home does not have a doggy door, so evidently was not his house.
It's an issue.
That's an issue, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right, thanks, Steve. All right, a 30-year-old Southern California Navy corpsman suddenly dies. His family has been trying to get answers for weeks, but they say the military has stonewalled them. Now, Team 10 investigator Jennifer Kastner has learned that he may have been killed by someone else.
He was an extrovert. He could walk into a room and make friends.
Jose De Leon says his son, Michael Vincent De Leon, was a Navy corpsman stationed at 29 Palms, a Marine base in San Bernardino County. The family has now buried him after learning almost 2 months ago from military officers that Michael had suddenly died and there was an investigation.
I gathered my emotions and I asked them why or what happened, and they couldn't give me anything.
Since then, the family says they've largely been kept in the dark. But this week, Team 10 learned from a source with close military ties that NCIS, the Naval Criminal Investigative Service, has confirmed that Michael's death is now being investigated as a homicide. It's a very different story than what Jose was led to believe in the hours just after the death, when he says the word suicide came up from service members on base. Jose didn't buy it, claiming there was no history of depression. This father, former news photojournalist, started his own investigation, and what he says he learned just 48 hours later from a service member close to the case was this.
I begged him, just tell me, did Michael pull the trigger or did someone else? There was a long pause, and he goes, Mr. De Leon, someone else pulled the trigger.
He says a full week passed, yet there was still no word from the base. But after formally complaining, he finally got a call from an agent with NCIS, which is handling the investigation. He says the agent would only confirm that there was a shooting on base at a housing unit with corpsmen present, and a firearm was produced. 10 News directly asked NCIS and the base for confirmation. Thursday, the base reported it's unable to answer our questions because the incident is still under investigation. Jennifer Cass, 10 News.
And we are still waiting for a response from NCIS, although the base couldn't give us any details about the death. A spokesperson told us that all firearms on base military housing must be in a secure location in the home. If you have a story you want Team 10 to investigate, send us your tips at team10@10news.com.